my Model Railway Club has kindly allowed me to make Langton's Retreat. Now this is going to be based on a Hornby starter set, so we use Hornby Set-Track rather than Pico Flexi-Track, and a Hornby controller, a standard regular controller, nothing fancy. It will have one loop and a couple of sidings, that's all. But the idea is to turn it into your first layout, something which looks really good, so I'll be using nice modelling techniques to do that, if it all goes to plan. I'm also going to make it, rather than on wood, on insulation board, and this is so you don't need so many carpentry skills, although I may have to batten it underneath just to give the insulation board some strength. Now the insulation board is foam, it's 2-inch thick foam in the case that I'll be using. This 6x4 layout will also use, rather than hand or hard ballasted track, it will have foam ballasted track, so I'm going to use Gaugemaster ballasted foam and just stick it to the underside of the track, as that's nice and simple. So simple techniques to make your first train layout something fairly small that will hopefully look really good. So let's see how we do. This is the insulation board. This one's made by Quinn Therm, but there's Celotex and all other types of mates. It's got silver backing paper each side, which is part of the strengthening process. Now on the first sheet I took it off one side, and this unfortunately caused the foam to bow and bend and buckle, so not advisable. I think you need to leave the silver on and only dig it out for a lake or something like that. So I got another piece of insulation board and left the silver backing on. Here I put a table in place underneath it and 2 wooden battening rods, 2x1, and they're about 6 foot long, and then I glued them with hard as nails into position. Now hard as nails is a glue, and then you can also on top of that add some screws just to help hold the whole thing in place while you're fixing the rest of the wooden surround to it, because I fixed some 6mm plywood that I cut to length. It was 5 inches high. I fixed that all around the edge. So first of all I would apply some hard as nails glue onto the edge of the foam, and then I would offer up the 5-inch high 6mm thick plywood, and then I would also just drill that into position. Just screw it in, make sure I countersink it as well so there's no sharp edges on the ends of the screw, and that helps hold it into place. Now here I'm actually screwing into the batten, so that actually gives the wooden frame some strength. And then once I put the wooden frame around the outside and had the 2 battens in place, I also added some metal brackets around the corners to really strengthen it all up and make it nice and tight. And I also added 2 little 5-inch battens going up vertically in the middle there. I haven't added them at this stage. And here is the top of the layout, the area that's going to have all of the landscape on it in the end. So here it is, ready now to accept track.